think this is just Jasmine.
All right. Okay, everybody. Thank you for coming back to my show. This is Funny Talks. My name is Henry. I have my first ever guest. It is my little brother, Andrew. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for being
Thank you
here.
for having me.
Yeah. Uh, so he asked if we had any subjects in mind, and I never really do have any subjects that I want to talk about. But what I did want to tell you, Andrew, is that yesterday morning I fainted. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I so over the last weekend it was Super Bowl weekend, and um I was hanging out at my friend's house, and I was eating a lot of food, right? Which is all right, but I'm not used to it because being here at home, like, there's not. I'm not
As
gonna say
much.
there's a lot of good food, but there's not as much good like American food, I guess. Like
Okay.
at the Super Bowl party, we had like buffalo chicken dip, buffalo wings, pizza, steak, truffle fries, chili. Like it was just a bunch of food, right?
Hmm.
They made a lot of food, kind of like as if it was a huge Super Bowl party, but there was only like six of us, kind of like that. But we made food for like 15. So I just kept eating and eating and eating, and I felt really fat. And then the next day, I came home and I kept eating again, like more than usual, right? I was eating I guess a regular sized meal every, I don't know, 3 hours or so. And I just felt really fat, like really self conscious at that point. Yeah, I was like, I have been wanting to try to do a 72-hour fast, right?
Hmm.
Because I've done some research, and not a lot of research apparently, but after like at the 72-hour mark, you enter max like autophagy. Do you know what that is?
Somewhat.
It's like when your body, uh, I think, like eats, like basically creates all new cells, so like resets your system,
Okay.
and that's what I was trying to do. And plus, I was also hoping that like it would kind of kickstart my metabolism. I don't know if it did or not, but I think because I was sort of already unhealthy and not eating the right food to start a fast with,
Hmm.
um, like a lot of people that I was reading that were doing 72-hour fasts were normally more healthier people.
Okay.
And when I did it, the first 24 hours was kind of just like, okay, I haven't eaten, right? My stomach is feeling that like that kind of empty stomach, like pain,
Hmm.
like you're hungry, eat some food. I was like, okay, the first day's fine. Um, and then that was on Tuesday. I began Monday at 9 p.m. So I went to Tuesday 9 p.m. and it was like just I was like I'm really hungry. Okay, it's like let me go to sleep. Let me um, wake up and then see how I feel the next day. Then it was Wednesday morning, and like I felt okay. I knew I was hungry. Like I felt hungry, and some people say when they fast after the 24 hours, they don't really feel hungry anymore. But I just kept feeling hungry, or that's how I think I felt. Um, and then I went that whole day without eating again, but I kind of just chilled. I don't even remember what I did. I think I watched TV shows all day to keep my mind off of things.
Okay.
Um, but I was just still hungry, still very hungry. And by Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, that was 48 hours. I'm like, okay. So at that point, your body is supposed to hit like um, the beginning threshold of autophagy. It's pretty significant, but at 72 hours when it maxes out, I was like, okay, I can do this, right? It was pretty hard on me mentally
Okay.
because I think, as you know, like I'm so used to just eating almost all the time.
Yeah.
Um, so mentally it was difficult. But I was like, just I think I needed to do something like this to help me, um, like mentally reset myself and physically, right? So I
Mhm.
thought this would be the perfect opportunity. And then when Thursday morning came up, um, oh, and I also like read that it's supposed to like help you sleep because your body's like it's time to wake up to go hunting or something like that, to go
Mhm.
gathering. But my sleep didn't improve at all, and I think it actually got worse. My body, it felt like it's just like just stay in bed, right? Don't do anything extraneous, because at that point I was like, I should have known that my body was telling me, hey, you have no energy, don't do anything stupid, right? Um, because when I was reading people doing these fasts, they were like they're just not eating, but this one guy, he was still doing Brazilian Jiu Jitsu for like a couple hours every day and just having his regular, like a regular day. But I just felt more and more like shit.
Mhm.
Um, and then Thursday morning came around. When I woke up, it was like 9:30. It's like, oh man, I really don't want to get out of bed, but I know I had to because I had to take Tux out for a walk. And as you know, but some of my audience, I sleep on a loft bed, so I was making my way down. I felt weak. I knew I was gonna feel weak, right, because I haven't eaten anything. Uh, and then I went over to say good morning to Tux. He was still in his bed, and he sleeps down there. So I like knelt down, and immediately when I knelt down, I started feeling pins and needles in my legs, and that's never really happened before. I was like, okay, that's weird. It's probably just due to me not having any calories or anything like that. I don't know. I don't
Low
know.
blood flow?
Maybe. Well, I'll explain that in a little bit too.
Okay.
And also on Tuesday and Wednesday morning, I realized I was more dehydrated than usual. But I'm drinking the normal amount. But I guess I had to drink even more water.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, now that I know that I'm dehydrated, I'm just gonna drink more. I'm gonna add my liquid IVs and so I can stay super hydrated all day. This is Thursday. No. So I wake up, I go over to Tux, I have those pins and needles, and then I go to the bathroom and I take a piss, right? And immediately you can tell how dehydrated you are from your
Yeah.
urine. I was like, I'm taking a piss, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely dehydrated. And then this is where it starts happening, right? It's kind of funny too. I'll tell you the funny side. Um, well, what I think is funny. So I took a piss, and you know, habitually after you take a piss, you would flush the toilet and wash your hands, right?
Mhm.
And once I stopped taking a piss, I think my brain took over my body. Cause I saw everything happen, but I had no control, right? I think my brain was telling me you're probably going to faint, so try to make it somewhere safe that when you fall, it's okay. I think my brain just knows how to do that because of when I was an alcoholic in the military. My brain took over all the time.
Mhm.
Like my consciousness wasn't there all the times I blacked out. My brain just was going through the motions. So I think my brain knew it's like, okay, you are out of control. Let me take over. And I think it tried to get me to either the couch or to my room so I can fall somewhere safe, I guess. But once I was done peeing, and you know how our bathroom is set up.
Mhm.
Uh, so I was facing the toilet, and I stepped left, and then I think because I fainted backwards. I knocked over all the DVD, the games
Yeah.
there. I knocked over all the games there. I And plus all my recycle stuff was there too.
Yeah.
So I tripped over all that, and I fell down and I actually knocked over that speaker that
Mm.
dad has with all
Yeah.
with mom's plants on top,
Yeah.
and that got all knocked over. And the thing is, as I was falling, I think obviously I was trying to slow myself down. I think I slowed myself down enough that I didn't get too injured. Thank
Mm.
goodness for that. That's what I'm really actually thankful for, is that I didn't like break glass. I didn't like land on the corner of the speaker. I landed, I guess, fairly safe for someone who faints. This is only the second time in my life I fainted that I remember. So I fell down backwards. Um, and I saw it all happen. I felt it all happen, but I was like very like tunnel visioned. And when I fell back, I think I'm pretty sure I hit my head because I felt concussed the whole day. And I chilled, I relaxed. I just laid on the couch and watched TV. Um, but when I fell, I knew I wasn't out long. It was probably maybe half a second or a second where I lost consciousness. Um, because when I was laying there on the ground, I looked around. I was like, oh shit, I knocked everything over, even the speaker. I'm like, okay, let me see. I look back. This it's wet because of mom's plants. Um, and I knew I wasn't unconscious for long because when I looked over, I can see into my bedroom, and I see Tux kind of get up. He's like, what the heck just happened?" And I'm like, and I just look at him like, "I'm good. I'm good." Uh, like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not bleeding. And then even before my nose started bleeding, it's like I think my nose is gonna start bleeding. So I got up and then it just immediately started bleeding, bleeding more, probably bleeding more than normal than I've ever seen. Like it just kept leaking. But the thing that kind of freaked me out the most that I would like to talk to someone medical about is that when your nose bleeds, it's um or like when you ever see your own blood, it's like normal blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this was kind of like a matte red blood, right? And it felt kind of like it felt thinner than normal. So I don't know if that's what happens. My blood was so thin that that's what caused me to faint or
Faint.
something. Yeah, I mean I don't know. I'd have to talk to an expert, but it was just a different texture,
Mm-hmm.
right, than I would normally. But it eventually stopped, and I came to. I was like, okay. And then I just cleaned everything up, and I was actually so disappointed that I smushed the recycle box. I'm like, oh man, my fat ass just broke the box. Um, what else? And then I was like, okay, I gotta take it easy, but I still have to walk tux too. And it's like, hopefully I don't like pass out or faint when I'm walking it. But it felt alright. I'm pretty sure I just had a minor concussion or something. Um, but I think I'm okay now. I don't. I actually feel a lot better because yesterday I ate. Right, I ate like normal, which is kind of disappointing because I figured like fasting would shrink my stomach a little, or like maybe I would reset my appetite so I wouldn't want to eat as much. But I don't know. I just ate like normal, and I think like fasting isn't just without medical supervision. I guess it's not the thing for me. And so yeah, that happened. I think that's what I wanted to tell you is that I faked it. But it was. I don't think it's something to worry about. I think it's just me being stupid and not fully preparing right to do a fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's anything to worry about. I think it's just I did my fast wrong.
Okay. I'm wondering if it possibly had to do with the kind of food you ate before you started the fast.
I mean, it was a lot of fatty foods,
Right.
and I think it's saying like they said. Well, I've only read like one article on what to eat, and then they were saying like low carbohydrates is what they did. I don't know if it's best. So I don't know if it's because maybe I should have eaten a lot more carbs first, so I had more energy.
Hmm. Well, that's what I was thinking too. Just because the nature of like all that fatty food, it's not very energizing. It's kind
I
of like
mean,
filling and
it's
slowing.
well, if you're on the keto diet, it's high fat, low carbs. So and good protein. So, but I think the keto diet for me is not good anyway. Like I'd have to. I mean, I'm trying to get a PCP now, and then through them, I'm gonna try to find a nutritionist and a therapist to help me get my life physically better and mentally. So,
Okay. What is a PCP?
primary care provider. It's
Oh,
just your
okay.
doctor, so like
Right.
they know
Right.
your stuff.
Just for some reason don't recognize it as an abbreviation.
Yeah, I've only started calling it a PCP when I was in LA,
Hmm.
because they're like, hey, now that you're in the VA system here, you're gonna have to get a PCP. I was like, what's a PCP? Yeah, and that's how I got on.
Okay. It's unfortunate because I may have kind of just lost mine, I guess.
How did you like you lost? What do you mean you lost your PCP?
Well, not the PCP, but I guess that's the wrong word, but my physician has been rotated out, it seems like.
To a different hospital or something?
No, just a different doctor.
Oh, like
Yeah, PCP is the wrong word that I'm thinking of, but just like my general physician is seems is now changed.
it, hmm,
It's kind of weird.
did your old one like get released or something? I don't
No,
know.
he's just like on he's like not available the past couple times when I was scheduled for
An
a
appointment?
general physical. So
Yeah.
then they replaced it with another doctor. And I don't know what that's about. And then my friend who also goes to the same doctor has also been canceled and like has to reschedule with someone else.
Maybe they're being overflowed because of COVID stuff.
This is pre-COVID, so I'm not
Oh,
thinking, but like I don't know, maybe at his age he's transitioning into retiring. I don't know. He's also super busy, so
I
might
mean, yeah, that
just be
makes
slow
sense.
and
I
flow.
think, yeah, I think he's just trying to spread out his workload,
Hmm.
I guess. And if, I mean, unfortunately, I don't know a lot about your health, but I think if you're not a serious case, then they can kind of do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you were too serious for them, then they're bringing you to another expert
Hmm.
that's more efficient and or proficient in whatever field
All right.
they might think you need to be in. But I feel like your case is just probably like
Just normal.
you're a
It's just
normal,
a
healthy person.
general.
It's just to
Yeah.
spread out, yeah, the workload. Yeah, I haven't had a regular PCP in a while, and I think it's because I move a lot, obviously. But
Mm.
even when I get this one, I mean, I think that's what I like about the VA the most. It's kind of like they kind of know we're bouncing around, and we're all in one central system anyway. They can access it in the VA system,
Hmm.
so it's kind of like like if you shop at Walgreens in Montana, if you enter your number, it's still you. Like It's kind of like that. I just have to give them my social, and then all my information is all in one central system.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if all medical is like that. I feel like they kind of do all use one system.
There's probably a simple way to like reference each system, but I imagine some are statewide and then have to cooperate with others outside the state.
Yeah. They'll probably have to like call the other doctor or have you call a doctor like, hey, can you send my information
Yeah.
to the new doctor? But if it's in house, it's all the same system. So
Yeah.
have you seen your new PCP yet or your physician?
Mm-hmm. He's a lot younger.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's better
Yeah.
because then you can have him for longer.
Yeah, I guess.
You can
It's definitely strange because my general physician has been the same all my life.
oh,
So like switching kind of without warning is just weird
is it like
because it's
this?
like out of habit, but it's the
Do
same.
I know this physician?
Yeah, you should. I'm pretty sure
I
he
feel
was
like I
both
should.
our.
Yeah, it was probably both of ours when we were
Yeah,
younger,
I'm
right
sure.
before I left. Yeah, okay. I just don't remember any of them really.
Hmm. Well, there's only, yeah, like I was saying, there's only one for me. The only time I saw someone else was if he couldn't, so would see his wife, which happened rarely.
Oh, they're both doctors?
Yeah. Although, wife retired? Oh, what happened?
I think your light turned off or something.
No, I just, screensaver, I guess.
I think I had more things I wanted to talk about. Oh, I wanted to get a guitar soon.
I do too, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like as much as I like the piano, I like the sound of the piano, and I don't know if it's me, like preemptively. I don't know how to say that word.
Preemptively.
Preemptively quitting, but like my, I don't know if it's just because of lack of practice or talent, but I can't find myself playing two different rhythms with two different hands.
I'm sure a lot of that is habit through practice.
Yeah, because I feel a lot more comfortable. Like let's say when I'm playing my ukulele, right?
Mm.
The thing in my mind is that even though like on a ukulele or a guitar, you can be playing a lot of notes at once, but it's still technically like one note at a time.
In some sense, yeah. Like one
Yeah, like
melody, one.
yeah, like I don't know. I mean, it's probably possible to play two melodies on
It
a
is.
guitar. I don't know how to, but
It's cool.
like I can play a melody on the piano, one hand, right? One
Mhm.
right hand. I could play one on my left hand, but playing together is just uh uh like they have to be in sync
Mhm.
somehow. And I feel like if I try to put that into a guitar, it'd be easier because it's just like hold a note, strum, right? Or pick.
Mhm.
Kind of. It's not like, well, yeah, I just think for me musically it'd be easier than a piano. I think maybe if I just practice more, like I can get it. But I don't know, it's hard to do two melodies
I think that's just
for
a
me.
matter of practice and training it. And then, I don't know, maybe it's just one of those things of being kind of unfortunate where you're starting at a state in life where your brain is different than it
Yeah.
used to be.
I mean, yeah, I was watching someone talk about musicians. I don't remember who. But it's just like they were saying like because your body, if you play it at a young age, like you basically your brain and your body grew up
Mhm.
playing that instrument, you know, like, and I think that's why, like, even now I'm still athletic because like that muscle memory,
Mhm.
my muscles and joints just know how to move. And I
Right.
think it's kind of the same way. And now that I'm older, like just even playing the ukulele, just practicing it, it just feels more comfortable for me than the piano. I get frustrated a lot more faster with the piano, even I guess with like a simple song. Like I can't play a bass line and a melody at the same time on the piano. And that's probably just due to practice and then my usual self just preemptively quitting before I get myself ahead. It could definitely just be that.
I
I've,
think it's just a matter of coordination because I don't know that there are many things you do in life where you are using both hands so delicately
yeah.
in that sense. Like a matter of using all, well, potentially all 10 fingers at once to do precise work.
Hmm.
Because, like, it's easy to grab things, but it's a very different idea to apply specific pressure in a specific distance range
Yeah.
all at once.
It's 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 definitely really hard. And like I guess simple melodies are easy. Like if it's just maybe the some chords on the left hand and a melody maybe on the right hand. But even just like
That's
the
pretty
book
common.
the book that I have, yeah, like I think I could play um let's see, I guess like simple songs, right?
Mhm.
But even like I'm halfway through the book and it's already like holy crap. I can't get past this halfway point. And I've been like well I guess before I quit, I was practicing, every day for at least half an hour. And it's just I couldn't get past it. Maybe if I just practiced like hours a day, I think. But I'm just too lazy. I don't know. And I don't know if it's me just dropping another hobby to try to pick up another hobby. That's probably it. But I mean, I've always felt um I don't know. I knew I've always wanted to be creative in music. Remember when I had the clarinet for like I don't even know how long, a week?
Was it a clarinet?
Yeah.
That
When
was an
I was in
oboe.
no, it was a clarinet.
I thought it was a clarinet, and then you told me it was an oboe, and then I got confused, and I just
I
ignored it.
told you it was an oboe?
Yeah,
I don't even know what an oboe is, so
then it's not an oboe.
I don't know. But I remember it being a clarinet because it was like the cheapest instrument,
Hmm.
I guess. And but I don't even remember why I stopped. I like I'm trying to think back of why I quit the clarinet, and I honestly think I quit because I was being bullied. Yeah, it's like, oh, you're about to be in band camp or whatever, and because I was opted to be into sports then anyway. But being like, from 2004 to 2008 in high school, I think uh, back then being bullied was a little more normal than it is
Hmm.
now. Obviously, like everyone's kind of more inclusive. Um, Back then, it was all about being exclusive. Like
Yeah.
you, like what's that? Mean Girls, you can't sit with us, kind of thing. And I think I was trying to be too much, but I think that's just how my personality is. It's just I just want to kind of dive into everything to try to find out what I really want to do.
Yeah. I
And
definitely
then
felt the same way.
about what?
That sense of wanting to explore and try things, different things all the time.
Yeah.
And then like not really mentally feeling like I have trouble keeping up with it, but more like the expectation that I shouldn't be juggling so much because it doesn't seem normal to do. Like it's just not the capacity, but then learning more and just like going through more resources, I guess, understanding potentially how my brain works. Like that's just the nature that some people have, where you kind of need to just juggle many things at once because you can't. There aren't many things that can retain your attention for that long.
Yeah.
So it's just in your nature to just rotate through a number of things so you can actually have full focus and switch within the flow of how your brain works.
I mean, we've discussed this before and how we both think that we have some level of ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we both haven't seen any kind of psychiatrist, but I mean, all the signs are there.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be like I have looked into how a lot of um, Asian children are like similar to us. We all have, because of our parents, we were so pressured into being good at something
Mm-hmm.
that um, once we found out that we weren't, that our expectations or their expectations of something wasn't good enough, we would just find something else to try to be good at.
Mm-hmm.
And then we knew at that point, oh, it's not going to be accepted, so let's try something else. And it's just a cycle of us trying a bunch of things
Mm-hmm.
to be good at, and but never really
Committing.
committing to the point. um I think also it's because like we haven't really been taught, well, at least in our family, nothing long term.
Yeah.
Everything we've had was like it's either good now or never.
Mm-hmm.
The Like obviously, our financial situation. I mean, you've done a little better. Obviously, you have your own condo and everything.
Mm, no, still very arguable. Situation is different, I would say.
Okay. Um, but yeah, we've just, I don't think we've ever learned or were taught how to invest in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I've slowly learned over the years. And I'm saying I think you have too,
Mm-hmm.
at least to some extent, not to maybe what we were hoping,
Right.
but learning how to invest in yourself and other things on your own
Right.
is difficult, So, but I mean, I think we're in a good direction. It's just we don't know if that direction is the right one.
Kind of see it as not really knowing how to walk, but trying to run.
Okay, that's a good example. Because I talk about it before. I like, it's always funny to talk in metaphors, right? But that we're always on some sort of path, right? We're trying to walk on this path or run on this path and trying to jump over obstacles just because we can. But who knows if you're, going in the right direction. You just know, like, oh, I have to get over this obstacle. I have to head in this direction. But is it the right direction or something? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult without, I guess, without help.
Right.
And I think just us being open about it is good, right? Because just even posting this and hopefully more people watch and we can get like more support. But yeah, hopefully it all works out. I think we'll be fine.
I'm trying to be hopeful. It's definitely been difficult. Like with me, I'm sure a lot of it's been subsided through you, so I can only imagine it's
I don't
been
even know what that
harder.
word means.
I imagine for me it's been easier than you because of you being there for me. Probably more than you think.
I mean, I
So,
think, yeah, because for me, I feel like I'm cutting you off, but for me, I think, like physically being there for someone is more my speed, right? Like I've told you, I felt like I haven't been there for you because obviously, you know, when ever since I was like, I don't know, maybe 7, I've kind of been sort of on my own, right? I was either always at like my friend's house. I wasn't really ever really home. So I think physically I felt like I wasn't there for you. But maybe you can explain how I was there for you. Like maybe whenever you had a question I answered or
definitely like in some sense that like even if you weren't always physically there, just by the fact that you were there more than our parents, and like how through the relationships you built with your friends, just exploring the world in that way and still sharing it with me,
yeah.
like how pretty much every time you found a hobby or heard of something, you would look into it, figure it out, you'd learn something and you'd show me,
Yeah.
and then I would just end up following suit. And I realized I've done that pretty consistently with like almost everything, at least tried it. Like you were,
Like everything that I tried, I guess.
yeah, like you were my exposure to the world for a long time.
I mean, I'm glad you didn't pick up my alcoholism.
Well,
Even when
that's
remember
definitely
when I
different because
tried
you
it?
were in the Navy. So like you were gone at that point. You were
That point
physically gone.
that point I was like legit on my real run away from life.
Yeah.
Like yeah. My real escape from um like our household or our life. Yeah.
Yeah. Which like yeah, I can't really blame you for because like again, just seeing how I went through it and then knowing how much harder it was on you, it's like I can't hold that against you.
Yeah. I mean, did you I don't know if this is like me just trying to figure out about me, but like did you when you said hold that against me, did you figure that on your own or because of what I've been relaying to you about how I felt my life is?
Mm, no, I've definitely thought about it for a long time. Just like the nature of our relationship and our relationship with our parents, and obviously being with friends, going over houses, being surrounded by other children, and knowing it's not
Different?
a story I've heard anywhere else
Yeah.
in any capacity.
Mhm.
Like always, my baseline was here. While there was always some kind of like commonality with people over here,
Mhm.
it's like, oh, you don't know that?
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Interesting.
like you had your own room your entire life, right? I think about that too. Like people, like when they got punished, it's like they didn't beat you. Like, what do you mean? Like you didn't get a freaking chopstick to the finger or something? It was, I don't know, whatever. But yeah,
Well,
it's just
that no, I don't want to cut you off.
no. You can go ahead.
Like with some of that, that wasn't abnormal just because our generation was still transitioning out of physical discipline.
But I think
Like
maybe just in the Asian families. Well,
where
actually,
it
no.
was
You're right.
present. No,
Because
I've
when
still
I was
had
in the
friends like that.
military, yeah, almost everyone in the military is a fucked up person.
Hmm.
Most people in the military are people who felt like they had kind of no other choice,
Hmm.
and it was um the easiest and most highest paying I guess job that allowed you to basically run away, kind of,
Hmm.
right? You could literally go to another country and get paid, right? And that's the misconception of the military, is that you think most people who join the military is like, oh, it's so I can be, so I can,
No,
yeah, serve my country and
never thought that.
whatever. And but I would say the majority of the people you meet, it's just like, you ask why'd you join? It's like, I don't know, I was doing drugs, or I didn't like being home, and yeah, that's what the military. The military is just a bunch of misfits who join it because they feel like they need some sort of, they need to be part of a bigger picture.
Hmm.
And it worked, you know. Like I said, I made a lot of good friends, even though I don't really talk to a lot of them. But during those times together, like you knew you were there for mutual reasons, kind of. So I
Hmm.
felt, yeah. And I think I remember I tried to like sort of convince you to join. I was telling you to like go into the Air Force or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if I even told you that I almost did sign up.
for the Air Force,
No,
for the
it was the
Navy.
Navy. Yeah.
No, it still would have been fun.
Mm. Like, I went to the office with the friends. We were looking into the buddy system. Tried the practice test. I forget what it's called, like the aptitude test or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, the ASVAB.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Do you do you know what you scored on the practice test?
got like an 82.
Yeah. I scored, I think, yeah, something around there, like 84, 85 or something. But then the real test, I got a 78, which
Mm.
is, if you think about it, which is way above average. The average score in the Navy, I think at the time they said it was like 35.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
remember the scale. I just remember it's like above average. But yeah.
Yeah, we were way above average. And it's just
Okay.
like, and you think about it, it's just, you're like, fuck, why am I so smart? I'm gonna join the military, and obviously there are very high stake jobs. Like, I think the smartest job you can get is a nuclear physician.
Mm-hmm.
You basically just run
Ooh.
the nuclear power systems on aircraft carriers, because that's the main.
Nuclear physicist.
No, not a physicist, just a nuclear engineer.
Okay.
You weren't really the physicist. You were
Well,
just
you're
there.
saying physician. Isn't physician specifically
I don't.
medical
Did I say
doctor?
physician?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what I said, but no, you're basically a nuclear engineer, and
that's fair.
you just made sure that the nuclear engine was running right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Just
then
that shit didn't blow up.
yeah, that's it. And it was pretty hard to blow up because I mean, I don't know. I've never been around the nuclear system, but
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think that was one of the couple things they were suggesting within my scaling for the practice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you're scoring this, and if you do score this in the real thing, you should probably go into like one of these 2 or 3 fields. And it's like you
Yeah.
kind of have the whole lot if you actually do commit to this. Like that doesn't make me feel better
Yeah, that's what
because
I'm saying. Like it felt I was like
I don't have options, and you're giving me a bigger head than I want.
yeah, that's how I felt. And I ended up just being a mechanical basically just a mechanic.
Yeah.
They were like my rate, all you needed to get like an ASVAB score of like at least like 30 to get this job. And they were
Mhm.
like, you want to do this? I was like, yeah, it's easy, like it's something I'm comfortable with. It was because I was always like sort of fixing cars anyway and like
Mhm.
fixing things. I was like, I just want to fix things. Like I didn't want to like do anything too like mentally challenging. Like I joined because I didn't want to go to school. Now I don't want to
Yeah.
go to school to. Yeah, it's just like oh whatever.
Just kind of feels like that habit of not wanting to overcommit to something that's easier to fail.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like thinking back at it, like I could have done it, but I
Mhm.
think it's just our mental state at the time. It's like no, don't do it. You're not good enough, and yeah, never not feeling good enough is I think our main issue.
Never feeling good enough.
Yeah,
You're double negative.
so that means we did feel good enough.
Yeah. You're
Never,
saying we always feel good enough.
so never not, no, never feeling good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, never feeling good enough. Okay. But yeah, but like I said, it's what I always say to you is throughout my whole life, and I think I'm gonna keep saying this to you. It's like let me make all the mistakes for you. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, and I'll tell you what, don't try to do a 72-hour fast without medical supervision if you don't know how.
Mhm.
Cause that faint, like it kind of
Woke you up.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, why did I try to do something so stupid? And I was laying there, I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. And like, I'm kind of like when I came to and I was looking around, I was like, is anybody home? I was like, okay, I'm kind of glad no one was home, right?
Make a bigger
Because
deal.
yeah, it's just like, look, I I didn't know what I was doing. I made a mistake, and that's it. Like, but you know what happened that one time when I came home and I was fucking drunk as hell, and like they just, from what I remember, they were just arguing the whole time. I don't even know what they were arguing about, but I just knew that they were just nonstop arguing when we were at the hospital.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's besides the point. Um,
Is it though? That's such an annoying constant throughout our lives, which is like one of those things where I don't think anyone else has really dealt with it in the same way. Like out of all the people I've talked to, no matter how their relationship is with their parents, they still like have moments of trying to communicate
yeah,
where like we literally can't.
yeah, because of
Like
the language.
yeah, like
Like I think I've said this before. Like I don't know if anyone knows, but our parents, they know that me and Andrew don't speak Vietnamese or understand it.
they intentionally didn't teach us. I
I
asked
think
them about it.
really,
Yeah.
mom tried to teach me when I was young, but then I just
Oh,
kind of like blew it off.
she like
Yeah,
never really, other than like foods that were like staples in our house.
yeah,
She never really did much. It's like it was always Cantonese because we were a Chinese family.
yeah.
But then,
Did they
of
not
course,
want us to be like culturally Vietnamese or something?
I think they didn't identify us as culturally Vietnamese, and it was just a matter of their upbringing versus their blood.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
like,
because we are, well, according to them, we're 100% Chinese.
all right,
Well, that's what mom said.
okay. Well, yeah, I understood she said we were Chinese, but like I don't know about actual like ancestry.
Yeah.
So it's always just a matter of like we're Chinese, Chinese culture, Chinese holidays,
Yeah.
Chinese traditions and religion. But like whenever they wanted to communicate, it was basic Chinese to us and then just speaking Vietnamese among themselves.
Yeah.
Like I would never have an ear for Cantonese because it wasn't as open in the house. So it's like their English isn't the best. That's kind of all we have.
Yeah.
And then our Chinese is not great, but getting worse every year
Well,
after like
my Chinese
6
is
years old.
horrible.
Yeah.
I told
No,
mom, I
mine
was like,
is
if
worse, I think,
you can
still.
just you can just speak to me in Chinese, and I like it'll maybe slowly come back, but she just still decides to talk to me in English, and so it's like, okay.
Like, I still want to, because it's all the more frustrating. Like, had a small bit of it yesterday, but it's more of just like
Small bit of
poking
what?
a small bit of the annoyance or pain that I wanted to talk about. Just like it was
To mom and
someone
dad?
poking the wound I already had of not being able to communicate with our family.
Oh, okay.
Like, of course, primarily our parents, but then like extending from there, like every time we went to Canada and not being able to speak to anyone,
Like besides
like
their cousins?
even then, like their English wasn't the best
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah, that's
French.
true. Yeah.
So it's like there's still a bit of a barrier. Like it's a little easier, but it's still like there's no clear communication. Like we can't express like opinions about a topic that's more complex than food. Like, I don't like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
That's very
like,
true.
yeah, so like growing up, I imagine some of you, but like my idea of communication was very weird. I think that's why I was shy a lot for a long time and just didn't want to talk because I didn't feel like I knew how to. I had
Yeah.
no real practice with an adult that actually could form complex opinions
Yeah.
and like concepts. It was just very instinctual survival, like food,
Mhm.
bathroom,
Yeah.
shelter, sleep.
And that was kind of it. I
Yeah,
think that's why I was always like not home as much. It's just I
yeah,
felt more comfortable,
with people you can talk to.
yeah, with my friends.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, yeah, it's true that even now, it's like if I don't know if it's the right word, but it's how I feel. But I don't know, maybe they like just kind of. I don't think they gave up on us, but I think it's just they were trying to survive on their own as well.
Right.
You
I get
know,
that.
so it's like not really their fault. They're trying to navigate, especially in Boston back in the day, like even now, like it's pretty racist, it's difficult.
It's still a whole different country.
Yeah, and yeah, so they were just trying to survive on their own, and I think once they realized that we can kind of sort of handle ourselves,
Hmm.
they kind of just let us handle ourselves,
Yeah.
even though um it might not have been the best thing, especially for like children, right? In a new country
Hmm.
that we are also learning how to navigate on our own.
Hmm.
But I mean, we're not dead yet. It's one good sign,
No, yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Like,
Yeah,
especially since it feels like they're like, I'm not saying we were close, but I could see growing up that it was easy to die. Like, thinking about it, I guess, big picture, like, there's not a whole lot. keeping us alive and safe.
It,
The
what do you
whole
mean?
idea of like it's easy for something to happen. It's easy for an accident and for things to just end.
Oh, yeah, kind of like are you talking about just like life in general, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think about that too, and it's so funny. Like at the beginning of the game Cyberpunk, they're just saying like when you live this life, man, you just gotta live it to the fullest because you can just die hailing a cab, you know.
Hmm.
And that's why I think I've been telling you, or that I've been trying to learn myself, is try to just live in the moment. Like you never know what's gonna happen, and like oh man, my anxiety got even worse when I was smoking because like I would just be walking tux and like, man, what if someone just fucking shot me right now? And it's just like
Is
that'd
that
be it.
anxiety?
I mean, it's like paranoia and anxiety, and it gets exacerbated whenever I smoke. It's just like,
Mhm.
holy fuck, you know. But
No,
it's just
because I've
little,
definitely had those thoughts. Like, will have like just in general. Like that's not abnormal. I didn't associate it with anxiety. That was just like I don't know, an acceptance of mortality. But I could be wrong. I don't really understand exactly how anxiety works.
yeah. I mean that's, I mean that's the, I think the basics of anxiety, right? Like,
Hmm.
because if you think about it, not a lot of people have those thoughts, you know. Well,
Right.
I don't know that, but I would think like not everybody, like we said, like when you talk to people, it's like they have this totally different outlook at life versus us, and it's been hard for us to kind of find someone to relate to in most things. So, but you know, I think that's why even more now is that we got to be there for each other, you know, if no one else is going to be, especially our parents. And I think it's just because at this point they're older and we're older. They kind of like, um, I don't know, maybe they just figure we're adults. Like, okay, you know, they've probably tried their best, and um, that's it.
Mm.
So, not to say that we're on our own, but kind of. Yeah, it's okay, man. As long as we have each other, I think we'll be fine. It's okay, man. But we can't end it like this. No, I think we probably will. We'll definitely have more talks, obviously. And I am glad that you came on board to help share our story to the world. Hopefully, people can, um,
Get
like in my,
something.
yeah, a couple of my videos ago, it's like this is our way of asking for help, and because I'm not gonna say we have exhausted other um,
Methods.
methods or avenues to help, but this is just one way that I have figured that it is the easiest way for us to sort of ask for help. And even though we're just being there for each other, hopefully, just more support from our friends and maybe some of our family members, and to all you guys that uh, any help is appreciated. And I'd like to thank you all for listening. I'd like to thank you all for watching. You can follow me on all my social medias. My brother doesn't have social media, so you can't follow him. But is there anything you'd like to share at this last moment before we get on?
Working on it.
Okay, he's working on it. Um, Other than that, thanks, guys, and I will see and talk to you later. Bye.
Peace.